Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the 34th and final review of group number 12, Dry Snuff Nasal Playlist. This is the final review, and we're going to be taking a look at this. This is Deichgraf, which loosely translates, I believe, into Dykes Count. And there's a story behind that. And if you punch into Google that with snuff after it, they will tell you about it. But it basically has something to do with this being sort of an ode to the water engineers that were Dutch that reclaimed some land a very long time ago. That all said, this is a Schmausler. It is a 30-gram sachet, as is all of their Schmausler products. We're going to take it over the desk. We're going to take a closer look at the packaging and the product inside, and then we will bring it back up top to see what I think. If you'd like or would be interested or would think about making a small one-time donation to the channel for the core content, it goes towards product for review, smokeless tobacco. There is a PayPal link in the description. As for this group, or the Nasal Snuff, Dry Snuff playlist, that playlist and another review from it will pop up on screen in the last 20 seconds of this video. All groupings are on the one playlist. So once you get the one playlist, you have, that's all of them on there. Anyway, back in a moment. Okay, so here we are. It is the sticker that they use for sachets and their jars. It has two tear notches. I will be cutting below them, right about there, with scissors. German warning label. The difference between the 10-gram and the 30-gram sachets is that these are gusseted at the bottom. On the back, you have 30 grams denoted, and it was made in January of 2024, which is, again, really fresh when it comes to nasal snuff. And then you have the back warning label. Interestingly, and something I just noticed, Rosinski Frankfurt, it is denoted as a Schmausler, all right? So I went back to a couple of the snuffs, and not only are they noted as snuff, but they are noted, mind you, in German, as green, brown, and black, which is what we've been going through. They haven't all been the same type. So they are denoted. I just found that interesting, basically. So we're going to open this up, and as I said, I am going to cut with scissors, and it is going to have to be well below that tear line right there. So these Rosinski Schmauzlers have been actually really interesting and at the same time sort of throwing me off. Oh, what the heck is going on here? Okay. Okay, let me cut you off. Never had that happen before. So there is a plastic layer somewhere between the foil and the paper outer. Learn something new every day. And did I leave enough to get this open fairly easily? I did. Okay. It is a little bit more to work with the 30 gram. Wow, that stuff is, again, extremely black, which is what I expect with these. And is that some sort of like highlights going on there? What is going on with these specks? Okay, so that's probably way more than I needed to dump out there, since I am going to be bringing this in and adjusting light. Keeping in mind you were under much magnification. Magnification. This is a gluten-free product, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, okay, so it's very dark. And it looks like this one might be more coarse than the last two. Which is fine. I mean, it's what I expect with this category. The last two were sort of stand out because they weren't as coarse. But this is looking a little coarse. Okay. Well, that's fine. Moisture level's good, which is why I'm able to move it around like that. It is about as black in person as it is showing on the screen. It's almost hard to show it to you because of how black it is. And I put way too much out there, but that's all right. Anyway, we will bring this back up top, and I will let you know what I think. Okay, and here we are. So I jumped the gun, and I thought it was a little bit too much of a waste on the paper towel there. I put so much out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that onto my hand. So I did, and then I was like, wait a minute. How am I going to open the pouch? But then I was like, hey, I've thrown so much on my hand, I don't need the pouch to get a smell before I get a smell. Professional. Okay. It sort of smells like woods. Pine woods. Again, with this one, I didn't really, but as soon as they started talking about the land reclamation in the Netherlands, I was like, you know what, I've lost interest already, so I was like, moving on to the next thing. It does have medium nicotine. That said, the last one claimed it had medium nicotine, and that wasn't medium, in my opinion. This smells like, sort of like, it doesn't smell like pine per se, but there's something there. Let's just find out, I guess. Wow, that's okay. Do I have it on my lip? I do. I do have it on my lip. Here at Suit&Tie, Dip&ChewGuy, I pride myself on all the best camera angles, lighting, getting the nasal snuff basically anywhere and everywhere except for where it's supposed to go. Forgetting things, like how I forgot about the PayPal thing earlier in this video and then played it off pretty well, sort of. Okay, so I don't know if you want to call this woody with tobacco, most likely German, or if you want to call this piney. It's sort of like pine woodlands, let us say. Nicotine is definitely there, although this I consider more to be in line with medium. It's not as high as the last one. The scent of wood, the pine aspect, or it could be spruce, some evergreen, with evergreen essence, is very present. I don't see how someone could say woody without at least mentioning, yeah, like an evergreen forest. Like I don't say it's pleasant enough. The nicotine is strong. It's just not as high as the last one. The last one was noteworthy being high because it was also said to be medium, but I don't think it was. This is probably, most would agree, medium. It's coarse, but it's coarser than the last two. The other two Schmauzlers from Rosinski. It's a coarser grind than those. That said, as far as in general, other companies and whatnot, it's still finer than Bernard products and I believe it's finer than Pulse. I haven't done any recently. That's why I'm saying that. The scents are very interesting, and the fact that they don't seem to be using Brazilian tobacco makes them different just right out the gate. Fairly easy to take. I sneezed during the one once because, and I think I preemptively said before, that was probably a little bit too far. Like, I'm not sneezing. I'm not sneezing as much as I would think I would be if I was told, hey, you're going to be doing 3 schmauzlers in a row. I'd be like, okay. Get the tissues ready because here we go. But I'm not finding that. So as far as this type of product goes, these are pretty easy to take in general. Now, the last review was the higher nicotine one. I don't know how that was labeled as medium. I was feeling that after I was done that review. This one, very present, but this probably is medium. And of the 3, I don't know, they're all so different and out of my norm, what I normally would like, but they're done well and they're interesting. So I'm not against any, and don't take the reviews as negative whatsoever. They're fine products. They've just repeatedly caught me off guard with the scent. Not so much in a bad way, although they're scents that I would not go looking out for myself. They're just so out of the norm when it comes to schmauzlers. They're just not what you expect when dealing with a product of this type. Again, these are hydrated with oil. They're oiled, okay? They are not water hydrated. They can only be, or should only be, used nasally. Need to point that out. All in all, out of the 3 main brands that have been in this group, the Rosinski products, I feel, were the most interesting and kept me interested. There were always something that, like, okay, not sure if this is quite my thing, but I could see this being somebody's thing. Whereas Pfizer and Snuff, excellent products. My own personal snuff that I love the most is a Pfizerland, but there were themes in that line that, like, for instance, if you don't like the scent of mead, then that product line is probably not going to be anything for you there. The Bernard products were, as expected, high quality, but I sort of knew what to expect. Just a brief write-up online, and I was like, okay, this is what this is going to be. It didn't surprise me. Now, it might surprise somebody else if you don't read into it and whatnot, you don't do all these reviews. Yeah, but I always sort of had a feeling where it was going. The Rosinski, even when I read, and I didn't read a bunch of them, and I was doing that on purpose. I was purposely not, I was trying to see if I could gauge it. The last couple, though, I've actually looked into because Rosinski was just like so. Okay, anyway, even if I didn't gravitate to the scent myself, they did whatever scent that was really well. And it came across certain ways, product after product after product, where I was just like, wow. And this is the company that you're not hearing anything about anybody picking up. And I realize it doesn't have brand recognition like Bernard. Bernard's been picked up by Crystals. But this is Rosinski's products. You know, they come in these sachets. They're hard to deal with. I get it. But their products, even when it was something I didn't overly care for scent-wise, I still found extremely well done and very interesting. And that alone, there's something to say for that company. And it's just a shame that they are already out of business. Now, as I said at the beginning of this grouping, it was going to be long, and it was going to be of products, with the exception of the first product, because I had it here and didn't realize it. I was like, I'll work this in because it's from Switzerland, the A&S product. These brands are now defunct. Mr. Snuff, last I checked a couple days ago, still had stocks of Bernard. But there is no more Pfizerland, and there is no more Rosinski. The reason why I wanted, it wasn't just for content. I wanted to do the original versions so I had something that I could go back and look at when somebody else picked up the rights, the recipes, and remade the product. It's already happened with Bernard. They're not out yet, but they will be. McChrystals will be doing at least part of their line. So I wanted to get this in, and I went to length to get it. I took donations. I asked for donations at the time. They came through, and I was able to get them. The Rosinski products came directly from Rosinski. I didn't even go through Toke or Mr. Snuff. So all in all, a very long grouping, which I am sort of glad is over, because I don't want to drag it too long, because people are going to be like, man, this is going on forever. You know what I mean? But one that I am really, really happy about doing. So thanks for hanging in with me on this. It extended out when we did the Grim and Triple Chew tobacco bits during, I guess that was July. All in all, though, very happy. But Rosinski, I mean, if you're in Germany and you see their products in a brick and mortar shop, you should try them. If you see Pfizerland, you should try them, unless you really hate meat, and then that's a little bit of a gray area. Maybe you shouldn't try them, but, you know, and Bernard is already picked up again, and I'm sure McChrystals will do a good job of it, something close. But if you're in Germany or Switzerland or another part of Europe where these may be in a brick and mortar store, you may want to check it out. And I say that not only for Germans and Europeans in general, I say that for, you know, U.S. service personnel that are stationed in Europe, etc. and so forth. So with that, again, this video has run longer, but this is the end of group number 12, and we will be moving on to other things going into December here. So I thank you for hanging in. I do hope you all are well. As always, do take care of yourselves, and God bless.